Welcome back to the channel. Going through the states on my other videos and going back and forth between those and book reviews. So today is book review day. You may notice a kind of a motif theme. I tend to read a lot of fantasy books. I prefer them. I have read, and I do have some sci-fi books on both my to-read list and on my bookshelf, but fantasy is my chosen genre. I will read other books if they're recommended to me. I read recently, the Last Adventure of Constance Verity, which there's some magical elements in it, but it's also a sci-fi. I'm actually reading another book by J. Key is his name, and it's called How to Pick Up Women with a Drunk Space Ninja. And so that one is definitely a sci-fi. I'll let you know what I think when I get done reading it. But you may notice that I tend to review more fantasy books than other types of novels. I have thought about reviewing some books that I have read a long time ago, and maybe I'll get into those. Obviously for school and whatnot, I have had to read some other books. So I have read things like Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn and those classics of American literature, as we say. I have read some Charles Dickens. I've read some Tolstoy. So maybe I'll get into those another time. But today I want to talk about Magic Casement by Dave Duncan. Now, I just wanted to really quickly say that a casement is, as you can see here, it's basically the window frame, so that it can open. It's usually hinged, and in this book we have this magic casement that looks onto something else. Anyway, that being said, this particular book, it starts in the kingdom of Holodarn. No. The king's name is Holodarn, and the kingdom is Krasnodar. Got to get these fantasy names out of the way. The king has a daughter named Enos, and she is a headstrong, yada yada princess, kind of a trope at this point, and she wants to do the things that, kids do. She's young, growing up, and so she wants to play with friends and do all that other kind of stuff. Well, obviously her aunt does not, she is the only child of the king. Her mother's gone, so the king, dotes upon her and, pretty much allows her to get away with whatever she wants. However, her aunt does not want that for her. Her aunt wants her to be the proper lady, and so there is that particular dynamic going on here, and she does end up getting sent off to a finishing school where she can get matched up with a proper noble marriage prospect. However, she lives in this podunk kingdom out in the middle of nowhere, and so prospects for her may be not so enchanting, not so dashing, maybe, shall we say. The thing is that the world that this fantasy novel takes place on, it doesn't have typical traditional, what you would call magic. You find out as it goes, as you read into it, that instead of being of having magic that's typical, where you would have wizards and casters and things like that. Instead, there are these magic words. They're usually hard to say, and you guard them jealously. This word of power actually gives you abilities, and if somebody else knows that word of power, then the power is split between those individuals, and so you have this. You have these beings who do know the words of power, who do know words of power, and they try very hard to keep that information a secret, to hoard their power. And so these people are always trying to learn these magic words so that they can become more. Got something in my eye. They can become more powerful, and so this is the story of the Princess Enos, and I'm pronouncing that as I would pronounce it, and her childhood friend Rap. Rap is just a normal boy that he's a peasant, so definitely not a prospect that would be smiled upon by the aunt. And even though the princess would much rather spend her time with Rap than do whatever it is her aunt wants her to do, she is, obviously sent away on this to this finishing school, and there she meets Sir Andor, where he has been enhanced by one of these words of power. And the thing is that Rap ends up going on his own adventures and his own quests. In this particular book, you definitely get the feeling that this is book one, part one of the book series, A Man of His Word. There are 4 books in the series. There's actually a continuation series that happens afterwards. I forget what it's called. I think it's called The Upland Outlaws. I have not read the continuation yet. I have read all 4 of the Man of His Word novels. I have read these 4 novels and one other that I can remember by Dave Duncan. I do like his writing. I do like the blend of the fantasy aspects of this and the romantic story that's involved. And like I said, you do get the sense that this is a romance, or there is going to be a romance between the princess and Rap. And I don't think that detracts at all from the story. I think that's it's one of those things that makes the princess relatable. That makes her and Rap's story interesting. Why would I care about these 2 people? Why would I care about them being friends? And why would I, if there wasn't some sort of maybe romantic tension between the 2 of them, there would have to be something else, something that would draw you into their lives and into wanting to find out more and to get involved in their lives in this particular way. So the story, as I said, there's a lot to recommend it. It is a bit slow going in building up. I mean, it is the initial novel, and sometimes initial novels, in my mind, do suffer from this. They've got to lay a lot of groundwork. the world, the people. So there's a lot of world building that's going on here. And there's a lot of maybe tell me, don't show me, instead of the other way around in this particular book. But in my mind, in reading it, I felt it was well written enough and interesting enough that I enjoyed it and wanted to continue the series. There have been books that I've read. I'm trying to remember what it's called, the Apprentice series, by John Delaney, if I remember right. If you're interested, I do have a review of the book, the first book in that series. I've done that in a past video. You'll find that I didn't really like that first book. And while I did like the subsequent books, it took me a while to actually feel the desire to even want to read those other books, just because of how bad I thought the first book was. In this case, I liked the first book. It was a little slow in a lot of regards in developing the world and in showing what was going on in the world, but I did feel that it when I got done reading it, I wanted to read the next books in the series. I do want to read the continuation series, and I will get to that eventually. Right now, as I said, I'm reading a book called How to Pick Up Women with the Drunk Space Ninja. I'm actually reading two books right now. I'm also reading a book called The Devil's Rosary by Seabury Quinn. I will also review that one later as well. I'm going back and forth between books depending on what device I have at hand. Anyway, that's it for today. I highly recommend Magic Casement. I liked the world building. I liked the way that the characters were written. I liked the story was good. A little bit slow in a couple of regards, but led to a very good series. And that's it for today. Let me know if you've read this one. Let me know your thoughts on it. As always, like and subscribe, comment down below, and enjoy what you're reading.